Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it.
Trucker.
I walked the Highline, I juggled a few times, played sold out shows around. I keep entertaining and
Good evening. This is Andrea Eichmann with the People's Patriot Project. I think we're going to start right here, right now. Pardon the opening. Every once in a while that happens. Actually, it's never happened before. So we'll just go with it. It is March 5th, 2023, and we are here this week bringing our weekly show / podcast called We Got Your 6 at 6, Patriot Playtime. We are live every Sunday evening at 6 Central Time, and then we are you can replay it time and time again on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, of course, and then on all of our platforms and our website. So every week we bring you a guest. A lot of times we bring you a new musician, and tonight actually we're bringing you both wrapped into one. We bring all the good and not always so good news happening in our world these days. This week we are brought to you by Wounded Warrior Guide Service in Minnesota. Up in the northwest corner is where they work from, but they cover a lot of ground through Minnesota and occasionally throughout the United States. Tonight, we have Mr. J.D. Mosser, and I'm hoping I'm saying that right, joining us. He's going to share some music and some talent, and he's going to share a lot of stuff about what he does. We would also like to mention Operation Texas Strong with Peggy and Bobby Kretzinger, and we will be talking about them a lot later on tonight. Things that are happening for them quite quickly. Before we do get started tonight, we ask that you take off your hats, stand if you can, cover your hearts, and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And here we are on the 5th of March.
Wow.
Is this the
that intro? Part? Wow. We have one of the coolest intros in the face of mankind, and I don't know what happened tonight. It tried to play Tim Newton for a minute, went to CJ Garden, a little glitchy, whatever. Never has happened again. I feel like I owe JD an apology because he should get the best. He's coming here doing his thing, and that is not what our intro looks like or sounds like. So I apologize for that.
Quite all right.
Mr. Newton, good to see you. You got to see it. Your name was in lights again one more time, brother. Timothy's here watching. Geraldine Arnold, good to see you, sister. We got a Facebook user. Not too sure who they are. And so am I putting that up or are you putting that up, Miss Eichmann?
Jonathan, maybe.
I'm working on it.
Yay.
Oh, Jonathan's on top of it. Holy cow, we got a new guy running.
I'm standing next to it.
Well, I just realized I don't even have my notes for the show up right now, so that will become a problem later too. So we'll keep banging it out here. Thanks for everyone who's coming in and checking us out. And again, Tammy Schroeder is normally with us in the background, taking care of us. She's got hold of us earlier today, said she was unable to make it, so we won't see her amazing comment. We might see her comments because she does like to watch the show and she does like to come in and share with us what they're doing. So, JD, great to have you here tonight, brother.
Great to be here. Thank you, guys.
It's been a minute. So we had our event in Nashville on October 23rd, and I think we met you about 2 months prior to that. And that's so it's not been a year yet, but we've been working at this, doing this thing, and you've been jumping in and checking in and working in the network. And it's good having you here and having you on and being able to hear your mission and what you're doing for veterans and first responders.
Yeah, well, it's hard to explain, but I wrote a couple books and did a short film, and it was really difficult to get people's attention long enough. So I thought, what can I do to hold people's attention for a few minutes? So I had something pop in my head for kind of an opening for a song, and I was at work, and so on my way home, started writing it down on napkins and envelopes and whatever I had in my car. Got home and put it together in a way that sounded like something I wanted to hear, and got it out to some people, got it arranged, got some music put to it, and then I took it to Fame and recorded it. And it's called Let's Get Rowdy. And the album I put together is called Hometown Heroes, Let's Get Rowdy. I've got 5 songs and a lot of different local artists. Most of it was done here in Muscle Shoals, the hit capital of the world, of course. And then I did some work down in Nashville, a couple studios in Nashville, worked with some producers in Nashville. And the one that's out right now, the one that we're talking about, is called PATRIOT. And it pays homage to military and first responders and police. And I am a 100% retired vet. And I just wanted to put a message out there. I just wanted to say something that maybe some blue collar patriots can relate to. And that's PATRIOT.
I love it. So you are doing this through an organization. What do you call your organization?
Well, it's called Hometown Heroes Music Collective. And the idea is and was that I'd really like to try to help, just like you guys do, put a platform together that people can share music. And obviously vets are that's kind of the underscore of you guys and me. But yeah, it's called Hometown Heroes Music Collective because I'd like to give people an opportunity. The Josie Awards really kind of opened my eyes as far as independent artists and that sort of thing. And I appreciate you inviting me, by the way.
Oh yeah. Did you get to go to the Josie Awards?
Oh, absolutely. I stood probably 5 foot from you, but never made it to you because they.
Holy cow!
Yeah, they rushed us. They rushed us inside right as I was with Tony and his beautiful wife, and I had my wife there, and we were making our way up to you. And literally right before we got there, they said, no more, everybody inside. Oh, so I didn't get a chance to get there.
Well, and this only just gives me a real quick, brief moment to brag just a little bit, only because, when there's that AKC like dog show, that is on during the Super Bowl, and all these beautiful, beautiful dogs come in, they run around with these, and I'm like Wilbur the pig that shows up, and I made it into the dog show. And then I've got the amazing Andrea Eichman. We have no business doing the red carpet. We do. We were there to support Tony and the other 6 veterans and first responders that were up for Josie Awards. But this is what we got to do.
I'm Mark Peterson with the People's Patriot Project.
And I'm Andrea Eichman with the People's Patriot Project.
And we are live here in Nashville at the Josie Awards at the Grand Ole Opry.
Tonight we'll be interviewing several of the nominees for Josie Awards.
Come be part of the shock and awe. Patriot Pride.
That, my folks, is called polishing the turd. I had just the amazing opportunity, and I got to thank the Josie and her mother, Passantino, who allowed us that opportunity. And then it just opened the door for a bunch of other opportunities to happen with other veteran and first responder musicians. And we were supposed to connect with JD, but things were just rolling so much, so fast, so quick that we never actually had the chance to meet with JD. But JD was there supporting Tony Turner as well, and it was just an amazing event, amazing week of events. And so, sorry you missed out that opportunity, but I'm glad you're here. And I do see a piece to move forward and have some direction and get some things done and use music, which is always healing and helping, and then other opportunities for other missions. And we got some stuff that happened this weekend as well. But again, I want to talk to JD and about his mission, Hometown Heroes Music Collective. Tell me exactly what fits into your mission and what you get done with it.
Well, what I've been able to do is, oh boy, let me think here. I've got to meet a lot of people and tried to pull a lot of local musicians that maybe they do session work. And I want to do a video. I'm in the studio right now finishing up one of the songs in preparation for a video. So there's a song called Let's Get Rowdy that Gary Nichols, a Grammy Award-winning artist, he was with the Steel Drivers after Chris Stapleton left. Probably the best musician I've ever known or met. He's helped me kind of get everything put together, and just met and got to deal with some pretty famous people and trying to get the message out there with my music. And as far as the music goes, honestly, it's just the type of stuff I like. So I figured if I was going to tell a story, that's the way that I look at it. I'm telling you a 3.5 minute story. So in Patriot, obviously the message is I just want to say thank you, to the first responders and vets and, and that sort of thing. And the rest of the music is very, again, maybe old Leonard Skinner. It's classic Southern rock. It's more rock than country, I think, but it's kind of classic rock country, like a Leonard Skinner kind of feel to me, but with updated. I got a song called Fist Fight that's exactly what it sounds like. I wrote a song for my wife. She's got a beautiful voice, but she says she's more of a Disney princess or opera type singer. So I told her I wanted to get her recorded, and she said only if it's a song I like or a song that is you wrote. So basically, I don't like a lot of the stuff she listens to. So I wrote a song and had it performed, had her sing, and it's called "This Is Our Story" because it's a message, for her and I. But it's my sweetheart song. So it's a beautiful ballad that she sings on. She doesn't like her voice, but I told her I was going to record her, and by golly, I did. So I've got "Let's Get Rowdy," "Fist Fight," and "This Is Our Story," and "You Remind Me," which is another ballad. So it's just stuff I like. That's the best way I can describe it. I tell a story, put it on paper, put music to it, and it's got to be what I like or what I would listen to because I think that a lot of people would like it. So that's kind of the short synopsis.
Love it. I love it. Do some more quick shout outs. Shannon Book is in the house. He's getting ready to launch his video for Dear Mom. If you haven't had a chance to hear that, Shannon, we took the liberty. We played it during our Saturday reveal, which we'll talk about here in a minute, a little bit. Not your video, but the music, the song, Dear Mom. Amazing song about that veteran who is taking time to tell his mom what's going on during his service moments. And so if you haven't heard it, you need to go check it out. Shannon Book with Dear Mom. He's with Deliberately Broken. Again, we said hi to all these others. So real quick, hang in there, JD. We got some more questions for you, but I'd like to know what's in the news.
I'll start with the beginning, if you don't mind, Andrea.
Absolutely.
All right. Just a reminder that March is the month of the military caregiver, and during the month, Americans recognize and honor military caregivers' sacrifices and successes. And I had a brief conversation this weekend with some people about how they're an often undervalued resource to military members. That the typical civilian population just wouldn't understand the value behind a woman and a mother that has to take over being the head of the household and then give it up and take it over and give it up and things like that. It's a tough job. It's one of the hardest jobs in the military, and they probably deserve a little bit more than a month as well. And the Navy unveiled a new mental health playbook. It pushes the leaders to talk with the sailors early, possibly before any signs of anything would happen. It's a 26-page document. The officials say that it will not only help commanders know what resources are available, but it will help to dispel any stigma around seeking help among crew members. So hopefully this is the beginning of something happening bigger and better to prevent suicide and just a bad mental health stigma and a bad stigma about people not being able to say what's really on their minds. So hopefully this is the beginning of something very big in the military.
That was very cool.
I will turn it over to Andrea.
Thank you. I was actually just going through the news this evening, and this popped up, and the mayor of Buffalo had released the name of the young firefighter that lost his life in the line of duty on March 1st. And I just wanted to say his name in memory. His name was Jason Arno, member of Buffalo Fire Department's Engine Company 2 for 3 years. He was 37 years old. And we just ask that you keep his family and his fellow firefighters in their prayers. He was responding to a 4-alarm fire a Wednesday morning in a 3-story building. And it was not his day. So Jason Arno, our thoughts and our prayers are with you and your family.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that, and then I do want to also mention our guest next week will be Mr. Gabriel Wren. He does pop in every once in a while, so he might show up in the comments later. But Gabriel's a good friend, and our musician / guest other person is to be determined yet. So got a lot of comments out there, so we'll figure that out and let you guys know.
Gabriel was the one that cut the footage for that video that we showed on the red carpet at Nashville. So we have a musician that was looking to go down to another place and was looking for a video person, and I was going to connect those two musicians, but that musician hasn't gotten back to me yet. So I guess he doesn't need that resource, and we'll just continue to move forward with that. It's that good. I have a news story, but we're going to wait because I didn't know the loss story would be there, and it is what we do, and so it's Shannon's out there trying to stir the spot. I
Maybe
know
he's volunteering. Does he want to volunteer to be our music guest next week?
Well, maybe he is. Is it time? Is it time? Jeremy Daniels, good to see you, brother. If he's going to make comments like this the entire time, we're not going to let him come on because that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt viewership. We got a lot of sailors that come in here, and you know what? We don't need to throw it in their face that they smell.
Shannon spent some time, I guess. He's qualified.
He's qualified. He is. Those corpsmen, they do their thing. Awesome. So, JD, what do you need to do? Well, and you kind of smell. I'm not you, JD. Shannon, you kind of smell. That's what I no, I don't remember that either. He said technically he's a sailor. Come on.
He did say that. Yeah. That's why he's qualified. I was giving that to him.
Yeah. JD, what do you need to make your mission successful?
I think that I just people listening, listen, download it, stream it, and just appreciate. It's hard for me. I've got a buddy that's in a real tough spot, and we all know people military that have challenges or maybe currently having challenges. And I've certainly had challenges. I've got a buddy in Texas that's having a hard time right now, and I'm trying to get him up here so I can help him. Get him. He's not hooked up with the VA, and I've helped a half dozen people or so get their benefits, and I fought for 13 years to get mine, so I have a pretty good understanding. I've helped my son and a few other people, but I'd like to get him up here. But I mean, anything that I can do to help, because odds are pretty good that I've have a family, I've had a divorce, I've had lots of good things and lots of bad things. But if there's anything that I can do for other people, for me, it's just about the message. If you say something negative, that's what you get, is negative results. But if you say something that's heartfelt or something that comes, that's relative to you, other people is relative to them too. So all the stuff that I did is all relative to me, but I think it'll reach, it'll hit other people and it'll mean something to them. So honestly, that's why I've been talking about like the radio station and stuff like that. I've been on the news now, and I have been on the radio. My song's playing here local. I was interviewed, and now obviously you guys are awesome. Give me an opportunity to talk. But honestly, I just want to give a good positive something to somebody. And I know that's not very articulate, but I don't know how else to say it. I'm a storyteller. I want to tell a story that resonates with somebody that they can understand and appreciate. And if they hear the music and they like it, like I said, it's stuff that I like. The music, the message, all that.
I love it. And I love the piece in there, and I'll pick your message apart a little bit. Just the positive messaging. That is something that we came across week 2 into that big, scary thing 2 years ago as to why we put this together. And we got tired of even week 2 of the messaging. The messaging we were hearing from media outlet and media sources was, this is the scariest time of our time in life. And I'm not worried about being scared. I'm not worried about being, but it never gave anyone the freedom to express or experience the event as they needed to. They lived in fear. And don't ever take that by someone's mouth. We've all been trained. I'm not even talking military wise. Put your head on a swivel, look left and right, look both ways before you cross the road, and figure out what your environment is. This is basic 101. And when you're not being affected by it and there's an unknown, you may have to sit on it for a minute to learn as you go. And that's the positive message we've been pushing from the very beginning, and we will continue. And it's why we are successful. The other pieces are, boots on the ground, building relationships, not tearing into other people's networks, not taking things A without permission and B, and just having communication with those people around us, and just making sure that the network is strong and moving forward. And I'm going to tell you what, I know you're going to do this, JD, but this is kind of the message we're going along with as well. We're going to move forward, all of us collectively, by working together. If you're not working together, you're not going to be able to. It's not going to work, and then everyone's going to wonder, well, why are you not working with us? Well, are you taking or are you giving? That's the question. Stop taking. Yeah.
Well, you guys are definitely giving.
Well, I appreciate that. We only get to do it, and this is my truth. We only get to do it because of the amazing pieces. I'm going to call Shannon Book up. Here's incoming news. Shannon Book will be our musician next weekend. Up here. But we get to do what we do because of people like you coming on and doing the show. Shannon Book coming on and doing the show. Derek Iozio of Catch 22 down in Texas, deep down South Texas, reaching out and helping and networking and putting people into place, and everyone building and growing together. I'm a little bit on a little soapbox right now, but there's just enough stuff going on right now that I got to get the message out. We got to do it together. We can talk about smelly sailors, and we can talk, but it's also not necessarily wrong to talk about the wart on someone's face if it's bothering you. It's not your wart, so don't stop. It's let them worry about the wart. But at the same time, if something is stepping through your front door, have the conversation, and that's where we're at, I guess. Thank you. That was kind of a brief rant, and I apologize, JD, but people, if you're following us, you have to get it. You have to be part of it. And if you're not part of it, then go do your thing and on your own, and it's okay. We wish you and we give you our blessings. But if you're not working with us, work somewhere else for you. That's it. Sorry, JD.
Sorry.
Someone let go of his leash. Who let go of that leash right now?
It's awesome.
Just kidding.
It's awesome.
Kidding.
I think we're going to come back to you, JD, and I don't know why I'm pointing right now, but we'll come back to you.
Okay.
Here's the deal. We're gonna raise this up a little bit because we have yesterday, if you were paying attention, we had a little special event. A little special report. We had the amazing, I don't know why it's not coming up. Boom, there it is. We had the amazing opportunity to span our country. 3 states involved. You could argue 4 states involved. I actually thought that one of our organizations was from Mississippi, but I guess 2 of them are from Louisiana. 1 from Texas, us from Minnesota. It was an amazing. This is how it all started. Jonathan saw a post from another organization that we're connected to. We can't even say we're affiliated with them. We were connected to them because we knew who they were. But Jonathan saw that there was a veteran in need. And so Jonathan, who's part of the People's Patriot Project and also runs his own organization called Bourbon Battle Buddies, said, hey, guess what? We've got a veteran in need. What can we do to help this veteran? And we looked at it, and it fits right in the wheelhouse of what another organization we're highly involved with, and we just did a reach out. We reached out to Bobby Krutzinger in Operation Texas Strong, and we said, Bobby, we got a homeless veteran, in essence, homeless, not really because his house was destroyed by a hurricane and he was still living in the remnants of the house that was condemned. So he's not really homeless, but he's living in craziness. Has a job, is doing what he's supposed to do in life, but just doesn't have the means, the resources, and the balloon account to accommodate, buying a new place, get into a new place. He doesn't have anything. Bobby Krutzinger, we talked to him yesterday, has given away over 130 RVs in Operation Texas Strong in the Texas area. And so he wants to build a network and build some, and he loves working with us. And there's a 600 other RVs located across the country that are willing to be donated, but we don't have the resources to get to them. When I say we, Bobby, us, everyone's, we just need to get to those RVs and we get them to the vets. Well, back to the story. Talked to Bobby and his network. There was a give. There was actually a couple gives in the Florida area. We vetted them a little bit. One we thought was going to work. I reached out to another organization, and I'm going to do a shout out to Mr. Stovall of, oh my goodness, SARS.
Yep. Gosh dang it. Golf SARS. Wow. Stop. I'm looking it up right now.
I'm having that moment. Too many people in our network. Mr. Stovall, I said, hey, you know what? I know you work down there, this and this and this. And he's like, I got a resource. I can get the RV from point A to point B. Let's make this work. We found out the RV wasn't acceptable for living in at that time. And so I'm not putting this on a veteran who's already struggling. I don't need to give him a more problem. And bottom line is another one came through, a 30-year Navy veteran from Pensacola and his amazing, beautiful wife, Jerry Smith and Judy Smith of Pensacola, donated one of their little life, I don't want to call it fantasies, but treasures. They call it Sadie Safari. Sadie.
Sadie Safari, yep.
Sadie Safari.
Yeah. Sadie Safari, and it was their little dream machine that they drove all over the country in, took care of it immaculately. Sometimes we see these RVs and you're like, it's parked out in the middle of the trees and you can kind of see what's going on. This guy had the wheel covers on it. He had the windshield covers on it. It was washed. It was clean. It was taken care of. Mr. Smith and Mrs. Smith donated this RV to this veteran so that he would have a home to live in. And that was because of Jonathan. That was because of Ricky False and Miss Williams with After the Mission organization. And Bobby Krutzinger with, I'm trying to remember all these names, and these aren't on notes. I'm doing it from the hip. Bobby Krutzinger with Operation Texas Strong. And you know what? This is what's amazing. So again, I do a shout out to Derek Iozio because Derek Iozio is the one that introduced Bobby Krutzinger to us, who with Catch 22 out of Texas. And this is how the network works. Working together and making it work. And we're going to continue to do it. And we've got amazing supports that are here tonight listening and watching with Timothy Newton of Timothy Newton Band. And he was down in Nashville with us, enjoyed his stuff. But I'm just excited and tickled pink. And we have a ton of footage for this. I just didn't have enough time to cut it to do any videos. I do have a picture of the crew. There's Ricky, Mr. Smith, the veteran that we did our give to, Mr. Becker. You're going to have to remind me. There was another organization, and I wasn't familiar with this, but another organization stepped in. Who's the next person there, Jonathan?
I believe it was Veteran 48, if I'm not mistaken.
Veteran. His name was his name Jeff too?
Yes.
Jeff of Veteran
and I'll have
48.
to get my notes from the trip. I don't have them with me.
Yep. Mrs. Judy Smith there, Mrs. Williams with After the Mission, and then our Jolly Green Giant right there. The only Jonathan Crochet of Bourbon Battle Buddies. And what a blessing. And, you know, all of us dealt with a little smoke inhalation yesterday. It caught Johnny there for a minute. It caught me before we even started. I mean, and Andrea couldn't hold her stuff together for
I couldn't. It barely started, and I was, holding on better than you. That's what I'll say.
You stop it. You stop talking like that.
We
have been blessed.
It was. I've been a lot of places and done a lot of things, and aside from my family and having my son, this is top of the list. One of the greatest honors I've ever experienced.
Well,
That's
you know
amazing.
why you get to experience that, Jonathan? Because your amazing heart and your willingness to reach out and make a difference. And we thank you for being part of our mission as well. So this wouldn't have gotten done as well as it did if it wasn't for you, brother. So we thank you as well.
Thank you.
Wow. So
That's amazing. Good on you guys.
Well, like I said, we don't get to do any of it, Mr. Mosser, without the amazing followers we have and without the amazing boots on the ground organizations that are in this country. And this goes back to that positive messaging you were talking about earlier, because these messages need to be heard and people need to know that this stuff is going on, because there's a lot of dirty, nasty stuff going on that doesn't mean heal beans. We need the goodness of people's hearts, minds, and souls to shine so that we have more brothers and sisters here today than we do, so we don't lose them tomorrow. And so that's what it comes out.
I just want to say one thing on that note. Anybody that movie with Helen Hunt and Kevin Spacey called Pay It Forward.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember that or not. I can't tell you how many times I'm in line at McDonald's or whatever. And, you go ahead and think, I wonder what that guy's day is like, and then you buy the guy behind you his breakfast in hopes that, he pays it forward. And there's been a lot of experiences that you don't know what's going to affect somebody, whether it's a smile, a hello, a handshake, pet their dog when they walk by. You don't know what kind of day they're having. So anything that you think that you would appreciate somebody else does for you is going to change somebody else's life, no matter how small it is. So something like that is obviously a huge gesture. And thank God you were around, had the network, had the people, had the relationships. And that's amazing. But just for everybody else, I mean, just a smile or a handshake or pet some stranger's dog, you don't know what that's going to do for them. So that's kind of
it's amazing that you say that, Mr. Master, because when people call into the People's Patriot Project for help, literally 90% of the time, they just want to know someone else is there. And they have that conversation. They're like, oh, you answered the phone. That's what we do here. And I can't tell you how many stories we've heard about how what organization has dropped the ball, one organization doesn't reach out, one organization, and I'm just like, this is it. And I appreciate you. What we need to do is we need to get you some of these cards. I did have a graphic up at one time, and I know they're set up as red cards or remember everyone deployed, but we go through a coffee shop every Friday, and we buy the coffee for the person behind us. And we set these cards out by 100. And we ask people to hand too. They're made of plastic. They're actually really kind of cool. But we buy their coffee, and on this card it says the message is, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share with you this morning. I want to Patriot forward. Pay for it forward. See how I did that?
That was good.
Patriot forward. To you, in remembrance of all those who are deployed in service today as a first responder and or military service member.
Wow.
This gives us the opportunity to serve, support, and pay it forward in remembering those who have given us the freedoms we are able to enjoy today. Please take this gift, pass it forward, and please join the mission to support veterans and first responders.
Wow.
But the goal solely is to put a smile on someone's face. Plus, give them a little, hey, realize you got these freedoms because someone else is out there giving them to you. Our veterans, our enlisted, have sat on the borders to make sure that no one's coming in their back door. Our police are fighting the battles of their lives right now because of some of the nonsense that our country and culture are dealing with. We don't get deep into this stuff, and so that ends up being a political kind of statement. We don't get deep into it. We will support our men in blue. We will support our women in blue. There are some turds in blue, and I'm going to say that right now. And as in every aspect of life, you probably have a turd in your family or two. I mean, that's just the way it is, and you know who they are. But the point being is we have to let the positive shine in order to get through this nasty stuff. And you know what? I really do think, it's kind of like that green, luscious yard. You take care of it. It's nice. It's green. And you will choke the weeds out. You will choke the weeds out. But you got to maintain it. It's not going to do it by itself. We have to work together. We have to build together. And we have to be stronger together. And that's what we need to do to get rid of some of these negative narratives. I'm really I'm going to step off my box now and let everyone else have a moment. I'm going to give my funny story now. Here's my funny story of the day. And then we'll come back to Mr. Mosser and ask him some of what he's going to do next, and we'll listen to a song. This is in the news, and this was the most important thing that I saw today that I needed to talk about. 2 babies in Virginia are going viral because they are cousins. This is not novel at this point. And also twin brothers. They're cousins and twin brothers. Now we're getting weird already. They've got the same DNA because both sets of parents are identical twins. Their moms are identical and married to identical twin brothers. So in addition to being cousins, the 2 babies are also genetically brothers. If they took a DNA test, it would say they're siblings. Even though they're not, their parents met in 2017 at a festival for twins and got married a year later. Now they all live together in the same house. That's weird, people. A little bit weird.
Timothy likes that.
What people do to get on the news, for Pete's sakes. I don't. Do you think
But
they ever do a little switchy?
No, there's like they got the science in there behind that. That's kind of crazy.
I can't stand my husband tonight. Can you go take care of whatever he needs? What if they do the switchy and then they think, I'm mad at my wife. Yeah, and the wife's mad and they do the switchy, but they're real with the same person to begin with. I've thought a lot about this. It's real just
Peterson, you told me you were working all day. I don't believe you now.
Hey, I had to create that.
Well, that sounded like work coming up with that.
That's wow.
Remember when we used to do things like that during the show, like how you like your hot wings and does beans go in chili and should you fart under a blanket and pulled over your partner's head, stuff like that. Remember when we used to do stuff like that?
Not particularly that one, but sure.
We got to get back to a funny thing during the show too.
Yeah, I think we should. We've been kind of serious.
That's a brain winkler, bro. It is a brain winkler.
Winkler. Henry Winkler. Yeah.
So now we're done screwing around, JD.
Well, you got to have fun.
What's next? What's big for JD Mosser and Hometown Heroes Music Collective?
Well, there's a bunch of festivals here, just like everywhere else, and we have some other stuff that we're trying to incorporate, like my day job, into some festivals and stuff like that. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm missing the piece of. I want to get the music out there and have Hometown Heroes. It's not really a band, but I mean, I have people that will sing the songs and that sort of thing. But it's that whole positive. I want, just like going to the red carpet, with Tony and all that sort of thing. It's not my world. So it's a very different world. It's an amazing world, but this is so weird and selfish. But I literally want to change the world. And when I say that, I just mean I want to do something different that isn't done right now. So if that means I got to erect a building or a statue or something, so in this case, I'm going to write music, and hopefully that, anything that you think of 20 years from now, maybe somewhere in there's going to be Patriot or a snippet of the video or something from Let's Get Rowdy, or maybe my song I wrote for my wife. Maybe that's playing at somebody's wedding or something. I want to do something that affects other people in a positive way. So it's very easy to go down the road of like our local fire, our local police. We are very actively involved with them. And it's probably an hour away, the closest base. But I am involved with them as well. But I don't know. I want to do something different. I want to do something that Jay Leno or somebody says, that guy that never did anything? Now he's done all of this. For somebody, for someone, I want something. I want that something. So anyway, to answer your question, there's 4 other songs that'll eventually drop, a video. And like I said, we're getting licensed to the rodeo. So there'll be some videos and music and some stuff hanging out there. But I want to reach like the UFC. I want to reach pro basketball, pro baseball, something that has my hometown heroes or We the People's Patriot or something that you can attribute to, I had a part of that. And, it wasn't there yesterday and it's going to be there from tomorrow on. So right now I've got Patriot, and I think it's an amazing song, and I think it was done well, and I think it's a great message, and I just want to get it out there.
Well, the truth of the matter is it is a growing project. You're already redoing and having conversations about it as well. But and I love the fact that it's growing, and it's a piece that you're looking for it to be better, and we'll get it. I do have the video. Is that okay that the video is up?
Yeah, but if the video is somewhere around 8 minutes, is that the video you have?
It's 4 minutes and 9 seconds.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't honestly even remember which one I sent you, but
okay.
There was one that we did as a memorial for a fallen police officer, actually, that had Gary Nichols and I talking for about 3.5 minutes. That was made for them. That I don't know that a whole lot of people would care about, other than we're saying nice things. But yeah, whatever I sent you must awesome. Be family appropriate.
It is. I watched it. So it's.
Yeah,
I just know that you're planning on some changes and you're planning on redoing the video. And I want to let everyone know that this is a project in the works, and this is his. Any lead into the video?
Well, no. Is it the clip video? That's got a bunch of the lyrics and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. No. That's my video. That's right. My message. So yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
And so, this is J.D. Mosier, and the singer is
Gary Nick. Well, it's Hometown Heroes, but Gary Nichols, very well-known guy.
All right, and this is Patriot.
Soldiers giving all they can, fighting to protect our nation's land, holding their oath close to the heart, committed to the country, the stripes and stars. Let me say this, you're a patriot.
That was J.D. Moser with Gary Nichols, Patriot. Awesome song, brother.
Oh, that just makes me warm just watching it and listening to it. I like it.
Yes.
You got a good feel, man. I like it too.
Yeah.
They get you moving for sure. I'm over here bobbing my head.
Well, thank you guys very much for playing that. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
and God bless
absolutely.
you guys for being out there helping everybody else.
Well, I wish it was everyone else,
Well,
but our mantra is we'll help as many as we can with the resources we have, and that's bottom line what it comes down to.
Yeah.
We constantly have the mission and the message of we have to be ready so we don't have to get ready, and it's just like any combat, any mission, any going on vacation, you have to be ready so you don't. I have never been successful at going on a vacation. I've been on one in my entire life, but I don't think packing the 5 minutes before you go is probably a successful way of doing it. And a lot of times that's how our missions end up happening because we don't have the resources all the time. And putting together, we missed a window. We thought we were going to lose this bet. I mean, truth of the matter is, we had a week to get it done, and it almost took us 4 weeks to get the actually completed. Now, thanks to some of the pieces, like they were going to demolish the house he was living in, and whoever was in charge of that said we can wait a little bit, and so there's a lot of things that went in our favor. But I was just like, how many times we tell veterans, no, we can't help you right now because we don't have the resources, and that happens. But we hope our listeners and we hope that, connections like this get us to a next spot where people hear about the mission, know that we are actually proactively involved. And that's the other sad part. We have 50,000 organizations in our country, 48,000, not 50,000 organizations, and less than 10% of them are doing what they say they're going to do. And so, again, we said from the beginning that if you're not going to do the job, get out of the way. And that's what we're not bullies, because we will grab you and pull you along with us as we're going, and we can use your skill set and your resources to help get the mission done. But we're not going to let you tell people you're saving lives when you're not saving lives. It can't be done. It puts people in a bad spot. And
well, you guys should be proud. Anything is a lot better than nothing.
Agreed. And we got some brothers and sisters that like to be freaking flyers too, and they need to hear other messages as well. We help them out. We give them the resources they need to be successful for the minute. But the same classic piece, and there is mental health involved with this. You can't keep touching the hot stove thinking you're going to get a different reaction every time, and we'll put the resources there to help them as much as possible, but can't keep going to the same well all the time. And so
what we've gotten really good at, though, is part of our assets. If we don't have our own assets for the need at hand, we have assets all over the country in these other groups that are doing the exact same missions that we're doing, but maybe have it tweaked a little bit. Like you talked about Stovall and Gulf SAR. I don't have a search and rescue team that goes down into the bayou to
thank you. Search and rescue.
Yeah, I bet you on that. But you know what? We know Jake. We know a couple of other similar groups, and they're veterans that have banded together to go do that aspect of it. And we got Jonathan down there in Louisiana. We met Ricky through him. We've got Derek. I can't list them all, but we have tons of people across the country that if it's not meant to be our mission, or if it's not the moment for our mission, we will find you the place you need to be and the pieces you need from those other groups that are out there trudging through it like we are.
And we're always picking brains. I can't tell you how many times I've reached out to Bobby Winthrow with Texas Fallen and just have a conversation about, what are our next steps? What can we do next? And how can we pool the resources? And we go down and see people do their work and try and showcase that. So thanks for just the inquisitive questions and responses and what you do, JD. It's greatly appreciated. This is all of you can be part of the mission. And here's the deal: we're always looking for time. The next thing we're going to ask you to do is just a tiny, tiny, tiny piece of time. Tiny piece of time. 6 seconds for one. 6 times 6, 36 seconds for 6. Do it by the 6-pack. Each of you have one of these in your hand, or close to. Maybe you're watching the show on it. Maybe you're listening to the podcast on it. Reach out to a brother and sister. We just recently did the WeP3 Wave campaign where we were asking people to pick someone every single day for a month to reach out to them. If you think they're strong, reach out to them. The leaders, and I'm not talking about the officers that sat up in their office and sent everyone out to do their business. I'm talking about the leaders that were on those Z6s and 7s. Reach out to them. Those Z5s. Reach out to them. The leaders are the ones that carried a lot of weight. And I know that the grunts, RE 1s through 4s, were the ones that did all the work. I know that too. Reach out to them. It's not hard. Say, hey, just want to check in on you, see how you're doing, how's life. Maybe you can rekindle a relationship. I've said that story 100 times. I live with a regret in my life because I didn't burn a bridge, but I didn't necessarily mend it. And I lost a very dear friend because I was too stubborn, and I openly admit I was being too stubborn. Lost him to the demons of alcohol, and that's on me. I get to live with that, and my living with that is making sure I don't do it again. I have the restorative conversations I need to have. Bottom line is, it may not take 36 seconds. It may take a couple minutes. Because our goal is that you're going to restore and have conversations with people that you did at one point care about. And at one point, we're part of your team. At one point, we're part of your family, extended family and or through the next door. And so make sure you're reaching out to your brothers and sisters. It's not doing push-ups. It's not putting money in a bucket. It's you taking a minute or two to reach out to someone, just say, hey, just want to know how you're doing. I know without a doubt, this will save lives. I know it will. And so, what's the next big thing for JD Mosser? Where's he going next?
The next big thing, I'm actually doing a charity car wash here shortly in our little area. For cerebral palsy, but I'm trying to figure out different things that I can do to get my music out there, because I want to go to things like the Josie Awards and I want to be a part of this world that I'm not currently a part of. But honestly, I just want to change the world. So I'll be in the studio next week filming a video for Let's Get Rowdy, which I'm very, very excited about. And then I'll be dropping that single next. And then hopefully hitting the rodeo circuit and anywhere else that somebody wants to hear that music. And again, change the world, shake a hand, smile at somebody, and just make it a difference in somebody else's life. And that's what I think that my stuff does. So thank you for asking.
Well, stay connected. We want to do some work with you and see what we can do to work together. And anything closing, Andrea?
I just got, check us out tomorrow. Join us next week. Honestly, stay safe. I don't know what kind of funkiness you guys live in, but there's weather here again. You believe it? Weather right out there.
We live in Minnesota.
Stay safe. I know. It's the other people. I had a near crash experience today because there was a person in front of me. We turned the corner onto a highway. They were being cautious, and I was just hanging with them. And some speedy person came up behind us. It's a 2-lane little country highway. And that person behind me had to get somewhere super fast, which almost caused 6 cars to not get anywhere today by trying to pass us both. There's maybe quarter-mile visibility, but probably not even quite that far in a snowstorm. And he just, or she, I don't even really know. just whoop, right around us. And I'm like, what happens if a car's coming? And then all of a sudden there it was. And so you can't be distracted. You can't be going excessively fast. And gosh dang it. So be safe. That's my word for today.
Jonathan, anything in closing?
Two things, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I like to highlight something that JD had said during the show several times. It might be the most selfish thing that I've ever heard of. Him wanting to affect others in a positive way. And I think that's something that we could all be better at. Like you said, you just walking up to someone and holding the door open, and as they walk by, just say good morning. It's simple things. How you doing today? Reach out to somebody you don't know, passing in the street. The little things that go unnoticed are the things that are going to change lives, the things that are going to affect people, the most people. And I just think that they get overlooked a lot. And I'm glad you said that, because it's something we all need to work on, I believe. And as for myself and Bourbon Battle Buddies, I'm going to be extremely busy in the next month or two. I've got some new connections here to put some things together, and hopefully we'll have a lot to share with you very shortly.
I love it. JD, anything in closing?
No, thank you guys very much. And again, just like you were saying, you don't know what it means to somebody else. So you got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. So just be good to other people and people will be good to you. Karma.
Yes.
Absolutely. And, well, I'd be remiss if I didn't say happy birthday with Papa Larry Nobles out there, who is the DNA provider to Miss Eichmann. And then she also had an offspring of many, but only one offspring with a birthday this last week, Miss Faith Eichmann. At this point, soon to be something different. But, yes. So happy birthday to all those people. And I'm sure there's many, many, many other great stories to share. We the people, the People's Patriot Project. And we were glad you were here with us tonight. Come check us out. Like Andrea said, tomorrow we have our debrief. And next Sunday, we got Gabriel Wren and Shannon Book for our show next week. Check us out. Patriot Pride.
Thank you, JD.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
We'll try it again.
I don't know what that is.
Patriot Pride.